Sibongile invests 4,000 for 4 years at 10% per annum simple interest. Thereafter, she invests the accumulated amount for another 2 years at 12% per annum compound interest. Calculate how much money she will have saved at the end of the 6-year period. So it is always advisable, guys, to draw a timeline in order to see what is actually happening here. So we're going to draw a timeline of 6-year period. We're going to draw a timeline of 6-year period, and there we go. Here we are going to have the start of the first year, and this is the end of the first year. So this is the beginning of the first year, end of the first year, and then beginning of the second year, and then this is the end of the of the second year, beginning of the second year, and this is the end of the second year. Time 3, beginning of the fourth year, end of the fourth year, beginning of the fifth year, and then end of the fifth year, beginning of the sixth year, and then end of the sixth year. So like we have after year 1, after year 2, after year 3, after year 4, after year 5, after year 6. So Sibongile after year 1, after year 2, after year 3, after year 4, after year 5, after year 6. So Sibongile invested 4,000 here. So she invested, we can call this 4,000 a P. We can call it P because it is in the present. And then that money grew up until 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the end of the fourth year, the amount, this amount will have grown to a certain amount. Let us call it A actually. And then after the fourth year, she is going to take this amount again, you see, and then she's going to invest it for the remaining 2 years, you see, which is from the start of the fifth year and the end of sixth year. So like what they are interested here to know is how much she will have accumulated here, you see. So like what you're going to do, remember the P stands for 4,000, so she invested 4,000 here. So now our main task is to know what is the amount after or I can say at the fourth year. What is the accumulated amount after the fourth year? So we're going to use the simple interest formula. So where we have A is equals to P1 plus I multiplied by N. So we're going to invest this amount. Accumulated amount A is going to be 4,000, 1 plus, and then our interest rate there it is 10%. Then we can multiply by number of years. It is 1, 2, it's actually 4 years. And then A is going to be, after 4 years, is going to be, I think it is 5,600. So meaning that after fourth year, we actually have 5,000. We actually have 5,600. So meaning that this 4,000 grew to 5,600. And then again, we are going to take that 5,600 and invest it for the remaining 2 years by using the compound interest formula. So A is equals to P1 plus I to the power N. There we go. And then we can take this 5,600 and now we can make it P because we want to invest it again. 5,600, 1 plus 12% to the power 1, 2 for the remaining 2 years, 2. And then A, this is our last A, is going to be equal to, I think it is 7,024 rands, 64 cents. So meaning that here we have actually 7,024.64 cents. But remember guys, this is the end of the 6th year. So this is the end of the 6th year. Remember, when we read timeline, we start this is start of the first year, end of the first year, but this is actually where the second year began. So meaning that where the first year end is where the second year began. So this is the first of the second year, but end of the first year, meaning that here this is the, we can say that this is the start of the seventh year, or of the year 7, but this is also the end of the 6th year. But remember the question, they say that we need to calculate how much money she would have saved at the end of the 6-year period, you see, at the end of the 6-year period. So many students fall in the trap of thinking that, oh, I found the amount that she invested uh, after 4th year, and then I calculated the amount the remaining 2 years, then I'm going to add these two amount. No, that's not how it works. So the amount that she will have accumulated after the end of 6th year is actually this amount. So you actually stop here. That's why I say that it is always essential to draw a timeline when you are considering a question. Here's another example to reinforce what we have actually learned. We are having the same story. They are telling us that 90,000 is invested at 10% per annum simple interest for 4 years. Thereafter, the total amount is reinvested in a different financial institution at 12% per annum compound interest for 3 more years. And then they are saying, what is the future value of the investment at the end of the 7-year period? Again, guys, it is very, very essential to always draw a timeline in order to see what's happening here, so you can never be misled. So we're going to draw our timeline, and then we are going to start with the first year. So this is the beginning of the first year, T0, end of the first year, T1, beginning of the second year, T1, end of the second year, T2, but beginning of the third year, end of the third year, which is going to be T3, beginning of the fourth year, and then end of the fourth year, beginning of the fifth year, end of the fifth year, beginning of the sixth year, end of the sixth year, T6, beginning of the seventh year, or beginning of the year 7, and then end of the 7th year. So now we have this P amount, the initial amount, or we can call it the principal amount or the principal amount, whatever you want to call it. So we invest this amount. We invest 90,000 here, beginning of the first year. We invest 90,000 here, and then this 90,000 is going to grow using the 10% per annum simple interest for the first 4 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So after 4 years, we will have a certain accumulated amount, even though we don't know it yet. So we can call it A. And then what's going to happen? This person is going to take that accumulated amount after 4 years that has grown due to a simple interest, and then is going to use a different financial institution to invest it again for the remaining 3 years, which is from the beginning of the 5th year up until to the end of the 7th year. So we are going to invest that amount for 3 years. So we, at the end of the day, this amount is going to accumulate to another amount. So we are going to have another A again. So what they're interested in this question, they're interested in this value, because they're saying that what is the future value of the investment at the end of the 7-year period. So we're still doing the same thing, but remember, guys, so right now our main goal is to find the value of this one, so we can find the value of this one. But here the amount was growing using 10% simple interest. So we are going to be like A is equals to P 1 plus I multiplied by N, and then A is equals to 90,000 1 plus, and then 10% multiplied by 4 years, and then A is, we are going to get, if you punch that at the calculator, we're going to get 126,000, and then this is the value of accumulated amount after 4 years. So we have 126 thousand after 4 years. And then we're going to take what that 126 again, but now we're going to use a different financial institution. Hence, we're going to use a compound interest method, and then we're going to invest that amount for 3 years again. So we're going to write our formula. A is equals to P1 plus I to the power n, and then A is going to, and then this amount now is no longer A, it is going to be the value of P, because after the 4 years, now our present amount will be that 126,000. So now we have 126,000, 1 plus 12% to the power 3. And if you punch this in the calculator, you're going to get A 126, 1 plus 12 to the power 3. I think we get it's 177,020 rand, comma 928. And this value, it is actually this value after the 7-year period. So like, don't make the mistake of taking this value and add with this value. That's not how things work. So you are just going to stop here.